it's Ashwin Rao. Today's video features a new makeup from a renowned shoemaker coming out of Bandung, Indonesia. It's probably a brand that you're already familiar with if you follow my channel, but this is an incredible makeup of a boot with near bespoke fit and finish properties. You know the brand at this point if you're hearing about Bandung, Indonesia, and incredible elevation of shoe quality, and that is Winson Shoemaker. And this is their short Jodhpur boot. As you can see, this is just a stunning makeup done out of a leather that has become increasingly popular in the bootmaking community that I decided to apply to a more dressed up boot, or maybe a boot, a shoe that has boot properties or a boot that has shoe properties, depending on how you want to call it. This is a makeup that I originally saw on Winson's site, as well as that of Thundermarch, who's an Instagrammer who, if you're not familiar with, features some of the most innovative and up-and-coming shoemakers in the world, and has worked frequently with Winson to design new styles. And this style is no exception, so I gotta give credit to both Winson, obviously, and Thundermarch for conceiving of a short version of a Jodhpur boot styled more like a chukka. So maybe you call this a Jodhpur chukka or just a short Jodhpur boot. The bottom line is that this is a beautiful style that once worn with more formal attire will hide and become a really classy makeup, but can also stand on its own as a rugged boot. So I reached out to Emil Putra, who is the founder and lead designer for Winson, and he and I talked a little bit about a makeup. So what he and I started talking about was trying to put together a makeup that could fit both the rugged and the elegant. And so we decided on a leather that's actually become quite popular amongst shoe and boot enthusiasts, and this is a Shinki Hikaku oiled black horsebutt leather. Horsebutt leathers typically include some component of cordovan. Well, horsebutt leather includes some of the cordovan in its componentry, and ultimately is a quite rugged leather. It's a thicker handle leather, it's a little stiffer, but it's well suited for rugged boots. So we decided, hey, why not take that leather and apply it to a dressier boot? I was browsing through Winson's Instagram and came upon this particular last that I saw was only occasionally featured. This is the Quillen last, and it's basically a soft square last without much of a chisel, but it has some interesting angulations along the forefoot. You can see there's a little light colored line here that you can see catches that provides a little bit more angulation between the side profile and the top of the vamp. And I really liked that squared off look. And I wanted to try this last out just because I thought it would be a nice last that crossed into both rugged and classic styling. The Jodhpur design is unique because it has this arcing, swooping front facing and side panel here that leads to this buckle, and almost like a monk strap, it has a buckle on the side, but then actually arcs back, as you can see right here, and arcs around to form this side arc as well. So really cool makeup. The Jodhpur style is a style that I've always been intrigued by. I've never owned a Jodhpur boot, so this is my first version, but I tend to like shorter boots and therefore wanted something that was going to be more chukka sized in style. And I love the side paneling details that you can kind of see as I bring this closer. This arcing, swooping triple line of stitches here, which is somewhat, I believe, structural as well as ornamental. You can see as we bring the back side and the heel counter into view, the way that this back strap plays with the heel counter here with accommodation for the strap able to course through there. And then you see this piece here echoes the pull tab right there. So just really, really beautifully done. Great design aesthetic. I like this little extra seam right here that's created. I'm not sure if that was done ornamentally or for structural purposes, but I'm guessing it was more ornamental to echo this right here to provide a counterpoint aesthetically. Featuring Winson styles, he always has a really nice offset heel block that you can see right here, the offset between the waist of the shoe, and this has a nicely gentle, slightly sharp-edged bevel here. So there's a beveling here, but it still has an angle to it. You can see the fudge wheel detailing. You can see that the heel block's done with an ever so subtle taper here on the back side, and that taper blends well with the back elements of the upper there. You can see how tight that heel block factors into the design of the upper. But these are Vibram 2540 explosion heel pads that I really like to provide a little bit of rubber protection to a sole, and this was built on the shoe by Winson. You see the slight fiddleback waist here, and then a more standard toe plate. Now I will say that the toe plate is pretty kind of blasé from my standpoint. The one thing about this boot that I would like to see improved, you can see that the screws are placed on nice. There's a couple screws here that could probably be placed a little bit more flushly, like this guy here and this guy right here. Winson recently announced on their website a new ornamental toe plate that has a flowered pattern to it, and apparently the design was made by Emil's mother, who provided him with the design, and now they're using that. And I think it fits the aesthetic of Winson's shoes really well. I've seen more. The other thing that I think is really cool is this incredibly unique 3-piece shoe tree here. So this is a shoe tree in 3 pieces, essentially tied together by this rope here. And that shoe tree is typically something that I've only seen available in bespoke shoes or extremely high-level made-to-measure shoes. And it was surprising to me that he included this as it's just a really classy touch. Something that I'm really excited to take apart at. I will say that the 3-piece heel block has a much more molded, like elastic fit to this tree, so it makes this shoe feel even more special. You can see the shapeliness of Winson's lasts. Wanted to kind of give you a sense of how beautiful this shoe really is. It's just full of beautiful curves, lines, styling. Ultimately, you won't go wrong with Winson as a shoemaker. He's one of the best in the world at making both boots and shoes, and in this case, a crossover model that I think I will cherish for many years to come.